Back at Eels Field, the halftime score is 7-7 in the battle between Clayton and Antioch. And down to the field with Joey and a special guest.
Thanks, Dan. We're here with the coach for the Panthers, Coach Anthony. Coach, 7-7. You know, it looks like your defense was struggling. Then all of a sudden they recover the ball, 2 fumbles and an interception. Your offense took off a little bit. Joey Pate was able to hit D'Lo, Hilton. Tell us about the first half.
Well, right now we're very fortunate to be a tie ball game right now. We could easily be down 21-7. They keep shooting themselves in the foot, and Clayton Valley's coached too well to keep doing that the second half. So we need to really pick it up on our end. You know, God love him, Herc. He's bringing out all the plays. He's getting the rust off some of those plays he's throwing at us. But you know, our defense is trying to hold up there and hold our end, and you know, hopefully our offense can pick it up this half. You know, for some reason we're trying to run the ball, and you know, hopefully that's going to open up the passing for us, and if not, the passing will open up some runs for us, and you know, hopefully get away tonight with a victory.
Coach, good luck in the second half. They're already running on the field. Back up to you.
Did you and Coach Anthony go to the same cliche school?
What'd he say?
Shot themselves right in the foot.
He's a good football man, just like I'm a good football
He also
man.
told me that you used to stand tall in the pocket.
I did. You take your hat off of that, too.
I do. 112 yards for Antioch to 140 for Clayton. Antioch's passed for 110. Clayton's ran for 100, but those turnovers, the big issue in the first half for Clayton Valley. For Antioch, they only had 2 yards rushing, Steve, 3 from McGee. Pate threw for 110 yards, and Hilton caught 3 passes for 85 and a touchdown. For Clayton, O'Rourke had 67 yards rushing in the first half, turned 38. Maris was 2 of 8 for 27 yards. Lucia caught 2 passes for 27, and Mortensen caught 1 for 32. As we get ready to go here in the third quarter, 7-7. Between Antioch and Clayton Valley, and Clayton Valley will kick. This is Lucia, and it's a short kick this time that lands, and it looks like it's going out of bounds at about the 20-yard line, and a penalty flag on the play. Some great friends of high school football, as always, on the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week, and one is Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Great pizza, voted the best pizza in Contra Costa County by Contra Costa Times readers. Brandon Theaters, 14 screens of movie magic. You can see K-Pax there this weekend. Contra Costa Clean Water Program, Mr. Funland. Remember, it's fun and easy and memorable, or whatever those words are that are on my script that I don't have, to do recycling oil and filters. And Paramount Technology of Concord, a great technology store. All your needs for computer technology over there in Concord, and also Prime Equipment. Thanks for last week with that great scissor lift, as we have a dispute already on the play, Steve. We have the referee is not even close to being ready to play. I think the time is off because it couldn't be 11:22 because the ball.
I'll keep it on the field.
Yeah, because the ball went right out of bounds.
Yeah,
couldn't have 38 seconds run off on that one.
I thought he said he was going to keep the time on the field, Dan.
I think he is, because there has been some discrepancy so far. So Antioch is awarded the ball at the 35-yard line after Lucia's kick goes out of bounds. That's where they'll take over. First possession of the third quarter. And Pate hands off to McGee, who had 3 yards, and he's already doubled that, and I think tripled it, and maybe quadrupled it on that play, Steve.
Good call, Dan.
Thank you.
He almost broke it all the way right there. A real nice run. Let's watch the replay right here, Dan. He does a little misdirection. He's going to the right side. Billy Wills does a nice block upfield, and 73 does a nice block for Antioch, Dan. Lewis Guillory, and right there's a good, nice run.
Cohen made the tackle, Steve. As we take a look at some other great friends of high school football here on AT&T Broadband, Rock Bottom Records, New Mecca Cafe, Images of 3 Hair Salon, S&S. We'll get the rest of these after this play, Steve. We're already back to live action. First down from midfield. Pate the handoff to McGee, and McGee getting good yardage. And he had Guillory again out there and Hatch. And here's McGee down the sideline, and he's going to go for a touchdown, but there's a penalty flag on the play, and I'll bet you it's an illegal block, Steve.
Yeah.
So
bring it back.
While they're doing all this, let's get our business in, then we'll take a look at the replay. Rock Bottom, New Mecca, Images of 3 Hair Salon, S&S Import Service, Golf and Games, Concord Beverage, Pantel's Music Box, A&B Creative Trophies, Mercado's Hairstylists for Men, Action Video, and Antioch Opticians. And Steve, who was a great friend?
I'll tell you who a good friend was, Dan. Captain Kangaroo.
Here's the call.
Holding on the offense during the run. 10 yards. Where you go?
Where are you going?
Where are you going? Look at this, Steve. Here's
Hats.
Hilton.
There's Hats with a real nice block right there. And that springs him. And I'm looking for somebody holding. I don't see nobody. Lousy call. What's going on here?
The Antioch in you just came out,
it
Steve.
just came out. That's true.
All right, Steve, I'm going to tell you about a couple of friends. All
Okay.
right, we've neglected to mention poor Matthew Perry, who was the initial
We're in the end zone. We're dead.
the initial brunt of this joke was the people from Friends. But you know who was a good friend?
Who?
George Harrison. And you know why?
Why?
Because he gave his wife to Eric Clapton.
Oh, that's a good friend.
Yeah, so he was.
Can
a
I
good
have
friend.
Selena?
No. 1st and 5.
What kind of friend are you?
T. Dixon, his first carry of the night, straight ahead for 3.
And Dan, early on this, Antioch is all of a sudden they're running the ball.
Yep.
They're just, and they're really
Paul Reif made the tackle, Steve.
And they're look like I don't know what he told them at halftime, but it looks like they're going to be. Now, if they could do that and mix the ball up, like 3rd and short right here, here's where I like faking and going on top right
You know what he told them? If you guys think you're going out to the tar pits tonight after a performance like this, they closed those down back in our day, didn't it?
Yep. Or
2nd
you
and
closed
2.
it down.
Yeah, I did. McGee again has a good hole. And McGee has an Antioch first down inside the 35-yard line. Reif again over there.
Yeah, let's watch this replay. Reif does a real good job right here, Dan, for Clayton Valley. Right here, there's a nice block and by Hats and Guillory right there, and there's Sino out there leading the way. Guillory just buries his man right there. And right there, he does a little spin move right there and moves the chains, picks it up. Antioch is moving the chains, Dan.
You know what, though, Steve, too? On that play, they almost had too many guys out in front blocking. No one was picking up the backside linebacker. Turin nearly came in and made the tackle. McGee, though, had 2 yards or 3 yards in the first half. It probably has about 30 so far here in the first 2 minutes of the 3rd quarter. First down, the ball at the 32-yard line. Pate, good play action, rolling, looking for a receiver, and then he is buried, and there's a penalty on the play.
I think he just, there might be they might have got a face mask on it, Dan.
It's Ricky Valenzuela on the tackle. That's the first time we've called his name tonight, Steve, and Pate was tackled. Could be a face mask. Let's see the call.
Personal foul. Face mask.
Yeah.
There.
So
We're pretty good at these calls
We're
right
not
here.
bad.
Let's watch it right here, Dan, and let's see if we can't see it. Here comes the hand right there. Right there, there's the hand. Spins the head right there. And he does everything but takes his wallet from him.
Well, it looked like it was Valenzuela because I saw Reif come in. Sometimes when you call a number that you haven't called, occasionally it's because we can't see very well anymore up here. And a 5 and a 6 can look like a 5 and a 5, Steve.
Right. What, did you say something? I can't hear either.
You have big problems, Steve. 1st and 3 for Antioch at the 25-yard line after the face mask penalty. And this is McGee, and McGee once again a first down for Antioch to the 15-yard line, and a pack of Eagles in on that play, Steve, and I think I've got all of them. I saw number 20, Jason Cohn. I saw our buddy Yojasaki. Fosco was there as well, and I'm missing one, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say it was Joe Mortensen, but
Let's watch the replay right here, Dan. And I think they gave McGee a blood transfusion because I don't know who this kid is. All of a sudden, he's somebody out of the nowhere. And he's running with authority right there.
It was Halloween the other day, and McGee, and that looked more like the McGee of the first half there.
Well,
Although that wasn't his fault because he had absolutely no blocking on that play.
Turn around so I can get your number, son. There you go, 45. 45, Nick Fosco.
Yeah,
Nice tackle.
51 yards for McGee in the 3rd quarter, in the first 3 minutes.
And he had one brought back for about a 50-yard run, too.
So he's like I said, though, it's hard in the spread offense, Steve, because you don't have a fullback.
Yeah.
You're trying to spread out the holes, and if you don't block, there's usually a couple of guys there waiting for you.
You know who a good fullback was?
Who?
Huntsback at Notre Dame.
2nd and 9. McGee once again. All right, Steve, would you get off?
Is that yours? Oh.
Box? You're like a kid in like a jail,
I'm just
and he's
having fun,
picking
man.
up guns and stuff and handcuffs, and people are getting shot.
I got gum stuck to my shoes right now.
3rd and 7 for Antioch. The ball at the 14-yard line. This is where Antioch has had problems this year, Steve, in the red zone, and then of course special teams is a whole nother question. Pate play action, rolling, throws,
to Rowe.
And that's Rowe, and Rowe's going to be close to a first down inside the 10-yard line.
You got to go for it right here, Dan.
I think they're going to come up short. It's going to be 4th and 1.
Let's watch the replay right here. Joey does a fake to McGee right here. And right there, he gets a little pressure from the outside. He's got to let it go a little early, but Rowe makes a nice adjustment, makes a nice catch. Got a spot's at.
Kramus made a good play there. As you see, Brett Fisher coming in with the play. And Antioch's going to go for it on
they're going to
4th
go
and
down
1
here
at the 7-yard line. 8:09 to go in the 3rd quarter.
Watch Joey when he gets over the ball. If he's got a gap there, he just might take off, Dan.
The J.C. Lewis play, we call that. We'll see J.C. next week at Los Lomas against Miramani.
Oh.
And Guillory jumped.
Yep.
Right on the left side, Steve, so it's going to bring up 4th and 6.
False start on the offense. Remains 4th down.
No. Thank you.
So now, Steve, they had the option to run up the middle with the quarterback here, and now they probably have the option of throwing. What I would do here is play action Frank Rowe over the middle.
Well, Frank Rowe's
and he's lined
always
up.
a guy we like. Always, you know, the tight end's always open down here in the goal line.
And they throw to Rowe in the flat, and Rowe is, and he gets a great tackle down to the 1, but it's going to be a first down.
Yes, it is. Real nice tackle.
That was Yosasaki on the tackle.
Yosasaki right here, Dan, has a touchdown-saving tackle. Right here, Rowe, he makes a nice tackle. Watch 27, Yosasaki goes down and just trips him up right there. Real nice play.
But they threw to Frank Rowe.
They threw to Frank Rowe. Good call, Dan.
They didn't throw over the middle, though.
No.
So I was 1 for 2.
That's all right. You had the right guy.
First down. Ball to 2. McGee up the middle, and nothing. A great play by a bunch of Eagles. Can you have a bunch of Eagles, Steve?
Sure you can.
Okay. Number 74 was the lead Eagle. That was Elliott Jaggers. And so Antioch once again. I think Joey Pate does play action very well, Steve, and I think they need to roll him out here on 2nd down. They have 3 more tries.
Yep. I do the same thing, Dan. I agree with you totally. Rife was in on that tackle too, Dan. He's been playing a good game. Number 55 has been very active on defense for the Eagles.
7:15 to go, 3rd quarter, 7-7 tonight on AT&T. 2nd and 2, Antioch. Pate play action, look into the end zone, throws to the end zone. Touchdown, Panthers! Frank Rowe, and Rowe had fallen down, but Pate found him, and Antioch scores on the first possession of the 2nd half. It's 13-7, Panthers.
Let's watch a replay right here, Dan. And right here, Rowe does a fake up the middle, and right here he looks like he's in trouble, and he just kind of eludes it, and there he is for a touchdown, Frank Rowe, and how fitting that is for him to score that touchdown. He deserved it.
13-7 Antioch, and awaiting the extra point attempt here. Good game so far. I kind of had a feeling, Steve. You know, you know that sometimes you want to show the powers, but the powers sometimes, that's why they're powers.
That's right.
That's why they win 38-0.
That's right. And it's going to be interesting to see how the Eagles respond to this.
I want to point something out after this kick, too, as well, as Pate puts it up, and it's good, 14-7. You know who the holder is for Antioch? Jesse Williams.
Jesse Williams.
Here's a guy that said, I'll hold, I'll play line, I'll play offense, defense, and he's playing.
He's playing
for Antioch. 14-7 Antioch. Steve, we had a visit from Bill Mercado. This guy's a historian of Antioch football, and he gave us his official top 10. We're going to throw in some honorable mentions, but this is who he said.
Okay.
Larry Merlini.
My number 1 man.
Jim Baccio. Brian Baccio. Bob Vossler, who must have been before my time. Paul Garul.
And Paul Garul was before time.
Shaw. Now, Shaw was very good friends with Gino Marchetti. Matter of fact, he played back then. Gino in the Hall of Fame went to Antioch High School's alignment. Worth was the longtime recreation leader and department head here in Antioch.
And I always said Shaw was one of the greatest athletes to come out of the school.
As you take a look at Coach Ferris Anthony. Bob White, Carl Maxwell, Jim Dossie, and Carl Panel are the official list. Rounded out by Itzy Marchetti, who was Gino Marchetti's brother. Ron Pritchard, who played professionally with the Houston Oilers and the Cincinnati Bengals. Grover Garvin, Mike Shaw, who we mentioned before, who's worst son.
Right.
Dan Sweeney, Mark Woodyard, Joe Madrigal, and he threw in his Babe Mercado is his brother.
His
He
brother,
had
he's
to, had to
Babe
throw him
Mercado.
in.
Well, we can't leave out Al Ginocchio on honorable mention.
So we throw out to everyone. And you know, I'm just going to throw a name out. A good friend of mine went to school with me, was a good player at Antioch. Stan Friesen.
Yeah,
was a
Stan
great player.
Friesen was a good player.
And a guy I grew up with, and I say hi to Stan and his family. Dr. Friesen out there, of course, as well. So Hatch kicks off. Oh, and good return by number 21, Guthrie, and he gets out to the 32-yard line. Ron Carter is reporting that someone in the stands was blowing a whistle, and that was what all the commotion, the band or something had a whistle, and that was what all the commotion was about. Isn't that part of having the home field advantage?
That's why you bring the whistles.
So, Steve, next week, top 10 brawls of all time at the Pittsburgh Antioch game.
He's gonna, and I know which one you're going to be talking about.
I was in one.
Yeah, but he's going to have the top 10 linemen next year.
Oh, so next week we're going to have the top 10 Pittsburgh backs for the Pittsburgh Antioch game.
Wow.
Bill Mercado. We could have that from the last 2 weeks. And you know what? Hair Day did cut her hair. And
See,
she
I
straightened
told you.
it some.
I thought
Get
she
the ball.
cut it.
Quarterback has it.
What is that all about? So a motion penalty on first down for Clayton Valley. It's going to move him back to the 27-yard line, be first and 15, Steve. 6:57 to go, third quarter. And we're having a lot of fun out here tonight, a lot of information for you out here. And we challenge all the other teams that we broadcast. If you would like us to do your top 10 of all time,
That's right.
bring it to us.
Bring it to us.
And we'll get next week also we're going to have Steve Sanchez's top 10 cliches of all time.
Great.
Hand off to O'Rourke. And once again, when O'Rourke goes up the middle, there's not a lot of yardage for him. Sino and Williams once again on the tackle for Antioch.
Sino was the first guy there to meet him defensive-wise. Kind of slowed it down a little bit.
If you like watching high school football here on AT&T Broadband's High School Game of the Week, tell us what you think. Give us a call at 933-6264. We're getting ready to set up our schedule for basketball, and we're going to have Dave Jackson's girls tournament early in that schedule. Dave, a 3-day tournament all over Contra Costa County.
But don't tell us what you really think.
Yeah, just tell us what you think. Second and 12. Play action, Maris to pass. Maris rolling, has a receiver. That's his tight end, Mortensen. It falls incomplete at the 39-yard line. Coverage on that play from Zach Robinson. It'll be third down, Steve.
Well, all right now, Dan, let's watch the replay right here, Dan. And let's watch Maris right there, Maris. And he's back in the pocket, standing tall, Dan.
Cliche number 9.
He has to get out, and he throws it, and just overthrows his man just a little bit. And right here, you can kind of feel the momentum shifting towards Antioch right here on this game.
Kind of shot himself in the foot right there.
No, he didn't shoot himself in the foot. He
Cliche number 7.
Kind of shot himself in the hand right there.
Okay. Cliche number 5. Third and 12. Maris, straight drop. Throws to the sideline. He's looking for McCullough, and it's intercepted, but a penalty on Mark Smith. And this is going to be pass interference on Antioch, Steve.
Yeah. Yeah, he pushed off him.
Yeah, Smith pushed off on McCullough, and this is going to come back. But, you know, we got a real good, entertaining, competitive football game
We
going
really
on here.
do.
We have a catch here.
Let's see what the call is, Steve.
Let's see what the call is.
You got a reception. You're going to.
People are going ballistic in the crowd, Steve.
Well,
you know why? The races are over, so all those people
That's
over
right.
here at the games now.
Let's see what we got here. Listen to this guy. Ray Stevens Jr. I think he looks like Ray Stevens,
does.
too.
Your first down. You're going to get more yards by declining.
Oh, well, he's telling him what to do. Watch this. Ray Stevens.
Got pass interference. Here's Black. Decline. The spot of the foul is more than the 15 yards. First down.
Now, wait a minute. We got to see this over because I could have sworn this pass was intercepted by Antioch. Oh, there's commotion going on out here. Antioch intercepted the ball. That was not a reception by Clayton Valley. It was an interception by Antioch. Yes. Okay, we're going to take a look at this. Watch this now. Okay, now let's take a look at it right here.
Here's the replay right here, Dan. We're not going to catch the first push-off. We got the interception, but the first push-off right there.
But they're trying to say that Clayton Valley caught the ball, and it's very clear off of that call right there that Clayton Valley did catch the ball. Let's send it down to Joey real quick.
Dan, the controversy down here is that it was called offensive interference. Well, defensive interference, but Clayton Valley declined. So Antioch's yelling, then we get the ball. That's what the problem is down here. Back upstairs to you.
Yeah, they've totally messed this one up, Steve, and I think they finally corrected it. The situation was it was pass interference on Antioch. Antioch made an interception, so they took the 15 yards, and now it's first down at the 50. They were actually going to put them at the 41, claiming Clayton Valley caught that pass. But they corrected it, and that's the most important part. Ken Leffel's a veteran official, Steve. He refs college football with Dave Kataya. Why do we have all this crowd noise in our
I don't know.
It's like the crowd's in the press box all of a sudden. It's like there's an open mic somewhere, and they're just going crazy. So Leffel is explaining to Ferris Anthony what is going on out here. There's 6:02 to go in the third quarter, 14-7, Antioch. Let me give it to you real quickly here. We mentioned the scores in the first half. Lucia, 19-yard pass from Maris. Then Hilton, a 65-yard pass from Pate. And then Rowe has a 3-yard pass from Pate to get in. Rowe had the 3-yard pass from Pate to make it 14-7 just minutes ago. 6:02 to go, Steve.
What are the big games in the area tonight, Dan?
Well, let's see tonight. We got Pittsburgh at Freedom. That's a big game.
That's a big
Liberty at Deer Valley and Ignacio Valley at De La Salle. Homecoming for the Spartans.
Okay.
All the games in the Diablo Valley are like a good team against a not-so-good team.
Right.
Sorry, guys. Turin on first down, and Turin is going to be close to a first down on a gain of 9.
Real nice run.
Yeah, he
started off their drive.
He drug Mark Smith and a couple other Panthers ahead for positive yardage, Steve. But, you know, next week, Steve, is a melancholy week for me because I love doing this so much. I love the Pittsburgh Antioch game.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot of fun.
But it also means it's the end of the season. So it's like a double whammy sometimes. This year, though, we're going to do some playoff games, so we won't be finished. But it always is just kind of melancholy day because that just means it's over.
They ran behind Sam Ray and Brian Arbor that last run down, and they're trying to go that side again on the left-hand side, but they got some movement.
They had Mitchell moving, and in legal procedure, it's going to be 2nd and 6, Steve. So, Steve, top 10, you know, next week we're going to have the top 10 running backs from Pittsburgh, and we know one of them is a certain number 35 from Oregon State. Will be in that group. His brother might play next week. He has had a sprained ankle and hasn't played the last 3 games. Might not play tonight, but Steve Simonton might be back for Pittsburgh next week.
And I bet you John Henry Johnson's one of them.
Well, boy, you get better and better all the time. God, you're like Kiss. You get better and better as the years go by.
Look at that block.
Oh, and look at that tackle by Jorge.
Yeah.
Jorge Lopez playing like a man unleashed with a cast.
Zach Turin made a real nice block. Let's watch number 40, the lead man right here, Dan, out of the backfield. Watch this. Here's a nice block.
Man.
And he just ruins his man. But Jorge, with the cast on and everything, says, then he jumps up and does the splits.
Following tonight's game, don't forget to watch CC Rock. This month, Billy Squire, and as you can see, Billy has aged just a little bit.
God.
There. Last time I saw Billy, he had hair, and it was black. 3rd and 1. Handoff to O'Rourke. O'Rourke has blocking. He has a first down out in front with Turin. He turns the corner. He's at the 30. He's inside the 20. And a penalty late on a late hit, and Clayton Valley's going to be in real good shape to tie this one up, Steve.
Yes, Dan. We got a real good game on our hands, and O'Rourke has been running the ball very well. Let's watch the replay right here, Dan. And right here, you just see the ugly Eagles right here. They just beautiful blocking. Number 40, watch him. He eliminates a guy. And number 10 does a real good job that springs him to the outside. Joe Lucia? Is that his name? Lucia. Joe Lucia. Nice block. I don't see nothing there, though, Dan.
The late hit was on Clayton.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say no Antioch guys hit anyone late.
Are they getting Clayton with a penalty here?
They're getting Clayton with a late hit. It's going to be a personal foul and a 15-yard penalty.
That's a big play right there this time of the game. If that goes the other way, they're knocking at the door.
Hilton knocked O'Rourke out of bounds at the 20. This is going to knock them back all the way to the 36-yard line, Steve. It's going to be first down after the run. But it'll be, I believe it'll be 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line.
It will be.
So Clayton Valley still on the move here. They've only had 2 possessions in this quarter, Steve. Antioch had the ball for about 5 minutes, and now Clayton's had it. Come all the way down the field here with 4:22 to go. 14-7 Antioch here. Our last visit to Antioch High School this year until we open up our basketball schedule with the Straw Hat Classic is the first game on the schedule, and we'll see that in early December. Handoff O'Rourke right up the middle. Another good tackle. That looks like Redmond with the wrap-up, and it was Mark Redmond. Number 40 for Antioch, a senior, 5'10", 175. So Antioch's going to lose some guys tonight, Steve, but there's a lot of guys out there making contributions that will be back here playing next year.
Well, they're gaining some very valuable experience, Dan. That's going to help them down the road. You know, I'm looking at Pat O'Rourke here. He's 5'5", 145.
He's a tough little cookie.
And he's a tough guy. He reminds me from a guy from Liberty.
Oh,
Joe
your buddy.
Gigari.
What's his name? Joe Gigari, that's right. 2nd and 6. O'Rourke again, using Turn as a blocker, and he's close to a first down at the 25-yard line. Turn was a returning all-leaguer last year on defense, Steve, and he's played a very good game.
Let's watch the replay right here, Dan. And they give it to O'Rourke right here, and number 40 just clears.
Turn.
That's Turn, just clears out the way for him. And they do a real good job on the left-hand side. They really like that Sam Ray over there and Brian Arbor and Joe Mortensen. They like that left side. They've been running over there, getting a lot of yards on the left-hand side of Clayton Valley's offensive line.
The spot is the 25-yard line, first down. Inside first, back through Turn, and Turn doing the Mike Allstott better than we've seen it done all year,
right.
Steve. Doing the would you do that?
Boom.
Thank you.
Boom.
You can't do James Brown to that. You got it.
No.
That's more like Pantera.
Right.
Just like boom, boom, boom. And we have an injury. Oh, we have an injury, Steve. An Antioch Panther is down. Let's take a look at the replay, and then we'll get back to the injury.
I think it's number 6 on the replay, Dan. Helmet to helmet. Let's watch it. There he is right there. He comes up, and right there he just gets hit really hard.
Oh, no. That might be Mark Smith because it's either 8. They're calling for a doctor. This is a serious situation, Steve, because that was a helmet-to-helmet hit.
Yeah, it really was.
This could be a serious situation. Let's stay with this for a minute and see what happens. We're going to send it down to Joey. Go, Joey.
That's number 8, Mark Smith. He's out cold right now. Everybody's getting ready to drop to a knee. They're just trying to get him to recover. I'll tell you more in a little bit.
You know, Steve, Antioch and their situation with injuries this year, it's just been unbelievable. And to lose another great player, although we're not sure what's wrong with Mark. I mean, it could just be a real bad collision head-to-head, and he could just be seeing some stars right now. Let's take a look at it once again, Steve, and you can see this helmet-to-helmet collision with Turn right here.
And right here. Here comes Smith right up here, and they both lower their helmet at the same time, Dan. And
oh, man. Oh, and you can see, Turn won that one, Steve.
Yeah.
As you can see Smith's head snap back. Looked like 2 Rams out in a field, butting heads right there. And that's the sad and tragic thing about football, Steve, as you see Dr. Williams.
Dr. Williams. We do have a doctor out there right there. It looks like Ferris is saying he's okay. I don't know what's going on. There's the cheerleaders down on one leg right here. And, boy, Antioch is just really unbelievable.
You know,
what
Steve,
they've been through.
We've had more of this. We had the situation a few weeks ago with Jared Costanza from Alhambra and had to leave the game. But we've had more of this with guys being so seriously injured that they have had to clear the field and everyone go to a knee this year than any year I can remember in high school football.
Yeah, it's been crazy. It's been just absolutely wild. I think Joey's ready. Dan.
Oh, let's send it back down to Joey. Go, Joey.
Dan, right now the coach for the Panthers, Coach Anthony's telling his team to get on their knees and say a prayer. Mark Anthony is alert. He has moved. But right now they're taking precaution right now. Back to you.
It's actually Mark Smith, who's the injured Antioch Panthers. The Antioch Panthers are saying a prayer for him right now, and they say he does have some movement, but it could be a neck injury, Steve. I mean, that's a very serious collision.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take a 1-minute break.
His legs are moving right here. That's a good thing, Dan.
We're going to take a minute break, Steve. We'll be back with the conclusion of the third quarter here after this.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible in part by a generous donation from Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Located in the Encina Grande Shopping Center, Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria has classic Italian pastas and gourmet pizzas in a family atmosphere. And Brendan Theaters Concord, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. All theaters have Lucasfilm THX digital sound systems, stadium-style seating with high-back, comfortable love seat chairs.
Hey, what are you doing? Stop that right now!
I'm just dumping my oil in the garbage can. By dumping used oil in the garbage, you might as well be dumping it in the ground. No! Recycle your used oil by curbing the crude. It's so simple. Place your used oil in a sealed jug on the sidewalk along with other recycled items. Call your waste management company for more details or check out our website at www.funnelhead.com.
Back at Antioch High School, and we're going to pick it up with 3:07 to go here in the third quarter, Steve. This is one of the most serious injuries I've ever seen really on a field, where Mark Smith was hit with a helmet-to-helmet hit on that last play, and he's being taken off on a stretcher. Just a very serious thing, and it's something that you see in football. You don't like to see it, but it's part of the game.
You know, Dan, and you don't even worry about can he play football again. When you see something this serious, you just concerned about the kid's health and that he's able to recover and be able to do the things that he did before he even played football. You know, and that's what you worry about. You don't, Antioch's been riddled by injuries, and he's another one of the big time players who would go down now. And Antioch, this can't do nothing but hurt him. But at this point, you're just thinking about Mark and his family and hope that everything's okay, Dan.
You take a look at some of the fans in the crowd out here tonight, Steve. Mark Smith just joins another long list of players. And, Steve, you'd have you could almost have an all-league team off of Anthony Trucks, Mark Smith, and Richie Beltram, two of the guys that preceded him. Maurice Tyner not participating. Those were their three starting wide receivers when the season started, Tyner, Smith, and Trucks. And Beltram was a starting linebacker and fullback. And it's just amazing that Antioch has to carry on under these conditions.
Yeah, it really is, Dan. And I can't touch base enough on right now. It's just the mood in the crowd is the health of Mark and that of Mark Smith, and our prayers and thoughts are going to be with him and his family. And hopefully we can have some good news in the next day or so that everything's going to be okay. I'm sure they're taking a lot of precautions. Supposedly. We've seen him move his legs, and that's a very good sign. But there was a report early that he couldn't feel his upper body. So our prayers and thoughts would be with him. And now they're asking us for the replay. They want to see exactly what the hit looked like.
Let's take a look at it once again, one last time here on this replay. You can see this isn't the most graphic hit you'll ever see in football, but it is certainly a part of the game. And you can see those two helmets came together, Steve, and Smith, because he was the guy coming up and kind of bracing himself for the hit, took the brunt of it. And I would have to say it's probably some sort of neck injury is where that came from, or maybe even a concussion. Steve, we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully Mark can come back and play. Down to Joey Acuna with an update.
Thanks, Dan. I just talked to the father as we were walking off the sidelines. I asked him how he was doing. He's come to. He's moving everything. Right now, he was knocked out by the play. He's restored. His vital signs are A-OK. They're going to take him off to the hospital, do some x-rays. It's good news. Back to you.
Well, that's good news, Steve.
That really is good news.
I've never, I think maybe once before I saw something like this. I know we had the situation a few weeks ago we talked about now at Alhambra where Jared Costanza was at the very end of the game. They thought he might have broken his back. The good news out of that was it was just a bruise, and he was back at school later that week, and who knows, maybe even he's getting back to being able to play. I don't know. We haven't been over there to do Alhambra in the last couple of weeks, but we might see them in a playoff game. But good news that he was up, but Steve, that's the situation with football. It's like any dangerous job. It's like being in the Army or whatever. Part of the job is that this is something that can happen to you at any time.
And we all know the risk and what's going on. And when something like this happens, it just we've had so many reality checks here in the last few months, and this is it's terrible to see. And but we've got good news from Joey. Relayed some good news to us that that his vital signs are good and he's moving. So that's exciting.
It is sad that you said that about reality checks and such, Steve. It's last night I got home from the Sharks game. My wife says, "How was the game?" I said, "It was great." She goes, "Did you hear the news?" I go, "Well, what?" She goes, "Oh, they're going to blow up the Golden Gate Bridge." I mean, it's got to the point anymore where you just pray to God you wake up every morning and the sun's shining. The first thing I do is I turn on the television to make sure that every building that I know or every person that I know is still around. And, I mean, it's really gotten to be a sad thing. And then we come out and do these games, and it just seems like it's been a constant. There's been something happening all the time, and I'm not making light of any of the situations, certainly, but it just seems kind of things are really moving in a weird direction,
Right,
I guess
exactly.
is what we should say.
Yeah.
We're going to take a 1-minute break, and after that, I think we'll be back to action here. It's 14-7 Antioch on AT&T Broadband. Back at Antioch High School as the crowd applauds the injured Antioch Panther Mark Smith. As you can see, the ambulance finally leaving here and taking him off to the hospital for x-ray. Steve, it's been a very weird happening here in the third quarter. We also had a lady in the crowd with chest pains, and like you said, it just kind of leaves you speechless.
Yeah, it really does, and you just hope and pray that everybody's going to be okay, and that I'm tired of all this stuff, Dan. I don't know about you, but I want to have some fun, you know? And,
I know.
I'm tired of being depressed and hearing stuff that bridges are going to be blown up, and, you know, we're trying to get the bearded guy out of Afghanistan, and stuff's going crazy, and it's just, you know.
Well, let's recap, Steve. It's 14-7 Antioch here with 3:07 to go in the third quarter. Clayton Valley has the ball inside the Antioch 20 at the 19-yard line after that gain of 6 yards by Turin. It's 2nd and 4, and we're finally back to live action here. Handoff to O'Rourke, and O'Rourke gets around the right corner, and he's hit by Dixon and also Lopez. And it's going to be 3rd down with 2:47 to go, Steve. So
Dixon made a real good tackle right there, Dan. It's what you call a hog tie. He got him high, and O'Rourke, I'm really impressed with Pat O'Rourke at his size and the way he runs. He does run a lot like Joe Jagari from Liberty, and he runs with a lot of heart and a lot of determination. He only weighs $1.50, you know, and he's a real good ball player.
And on 3rd and 1, they give it to Turin,
And he
Turin
ain't going to get it.
is hit by Sino right at the point of contact.
Yeah, it looks like they might give him a good spot right there.
I think
Dan.
they're going to get a spot at the 14-yard line, which would give Clayton Valley a 1st down as they drive, as try to tie this one up. And let's take another look at that one.
Right here, let's watch Sino. They run on the left-hand side. Let's watch number 58. He busts through, does a real good job of tying him up and bringing him down. And they still got the 1st down, Dan, and they removed the chains. And Clayton Valley's knocking on the door to try to tie this one up.
1st down, the ball at the 14-yard line. Turin and O'Rourke behind Maris. Maris hands off to O'Rourke up the middle. And O'Rourke gets a good gain of about 5 to the 9-yard line. Tackle, Sino was there, as well as number 10, Tim Whittle.
Here's a nice end zone replay right here, Dan. And you can see right there the line just collapses right there. They run on the right-hand side of Coddington and Mitchell on the right-hand side of Clayton Valley, and they pick up a good chunk of change. And it's 2nd and 5. Good running play. Look for them to try to muscle this in, Dan.
The ball at the 9. Maris hands off to Turin. Turin up the middle, inside the 5, a 1st down for Clayton Valley, and Clayton Valley knocking on the door with 1:13 to go here in the third quarter, trying to tie this one up, Steve. And we said, you know, even though these teams are going south in the standings, it could be a very good competitive game, and so far it has been. And Steve, amazingly enough, there's only been 2 possessions in this quarter,
Yeah.
Antioch's and this one from Clayton.
South is not a real good place to go on the standings, is it, Dan?
No.
No.
North is where you want to.
Yeah, that's north on top.
Yeah.
Right here it is, Dan, and it's just a big old hole right there, and he's a strong runner right there. He just runs with pure determination.
6'1", 180 as we're back to live action, and they don't get in on that one, Steve, but they get closer down to the 1-yard line. You can see just a big old pile of Eagles and Panthers, which is not something you normally see out in the wild.
I know I wouldn't want to be in the middle of Eagles and Panthers.
Well, usually Eagles are really high and Panthers are down low.
Kind of like north
North
and south
and
in
south.
standings. Yeah, okay. I'm with you. I'm starting to follow you on
You're
this
pretty
stuff.
good sometimes,
Yeah, up,
every once in a
down.
while. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And by the way, Steve, it's 5 minutes after 10 o'clock.
Oh, I got to go, Dan. See ya.
Okay, bye. Last play of the quarter here. That looked like Turin, and he's in for the touchdown.
And, Dan, they've really been running on that left side of Joe Mortensen, Sam Ray, and Brian Armour, and they've been doing a real good job of that left side. That's where they pick up most of their yards at.
You can take a look here. It looked like a quick handoff to Turin.
And let's look at the left-hand side right there.
No, that was O'Rourke. I'm sorry.
That was O'Rourke.
It was the first guy through.
Yep.
So O'Rourke in for the touchdown, a 2-yard run. 14-13, extra point coming. And this is Lucia, and the kick is up, and the kick is good. With 17 seconds to go in the third quarter, the score tonight from Antioch, 14-14, Eagles and Panthers. And Steve, one more time before we go here in the third quarter, let's wish good luck and our wishes and prayers out to Mark Smith and hope that he recovers from that. You know he's dying to play in that game next week.
Oh, yeah.
And we hope that he will be able to. And it's going to be a tough road for Antioch with all their injuries to go up against that Pittsburgh Pirate team. Pittsburgh, of course, if they win tonight, is going to go for a 6-4 season. And when you look at Pittsburgh's season, Steve, they've lost to 4 pretty good teams. That probably should still get a high playoff seed. Next week, Saturday and Sunday at 7 on Walnut Creek and Pittsburgh Systems, Matt Miramani, who should be 9-0 going into that game. And our second look at the Matadors against the Los Lomas Knights, who more than likely will be 8-1. And if Alhambra's tied in that league, Steve, if everything works out, could have a 3-way tie for first place. And then, of course, Antioch and Pittsburgh, that game will be shown next Sunday afternoon in Walnut Creek and in Pittsburgh right before the replay of the Miramani-Los Lomas game. And then we'll have some playoff games for you on the preceding weeks. And, Steve, if everything works out, we're hoping to bring you De La Salle, San Leandro, which is the game that everyone thinks is going to happen on December 1st, maybe from Diablo Valley College.
Cool.
If not, we'll be right over in that gym doing the Strat Classic.
All right, we'll be somewhere.
Your wife called me and said, get him out of the house in December.
Yeah. I believe that.
I don't care what you do with it. Just take him.
I get real weird in December.
Lucia the kick. And this is T. Dixon at the 15-yard line. Fosco just comes up and collapses the inside of the Antioch line. But Dixon's still on his feet. T. Dixon to the 40. Dixon has one run to beat. That's the kicker, Lucia. And Dixon's out of bounds at the 32-yard line. What a great kickoff return from the sophomore T. Dixon.
Boy, I tell you, he just excited this whole crowd and put a spark into his team. And that fired up their offense, and this is going to help. Let's watch the replay right here, Dan. Here's a kickoff, and right here you're going to see him. He kind of gets through the first wave, and he breaks a tackle, and watch him shoot out here to the left. And he shoots out to the left, and he eludes another guy, and right here he's on his horse. And right here, here's a real good return by Dixon.
And Lucia.
Santa Lucia. Nice tackle.
5 seconds to go, last play of the third quarter. As Antioch on that 53-yard return from Dixon in Clayton Valley territory at the 33-yard line and in business on first down. Pate to throw. Pate's going to the end zone. He's going for it all. Oh, and he overshoots Hilton, who was wide open on the last play of the third quarter. The score after 3 quarters of play, Antioch 14. Okay. I was ready to go, Steve.
Yeah, you were.
D'Lo Hilton, as you see him on the screen there, he was the intended receiver. We've played 3 quarters here, Steve, and we have to keep going because Ron Carter said so.
Okay, well, that's fine.
And as soon as he tells me to go, we're going to go to our fourth quarter break.
And what time is it, Dan?
It's 10 minutes after 10, Steve.
Oh,
so,
man, I'm tired.
You're going to have to. I think we're ready to go, Steve. At the end of the three quarters, it's 14-14 here at Antioch. We'll be back in 1 minute after this on AT&T Broadband. Oh, we've had a malfunction, Steve. So you know what? Because we always talk about our sponsors, let's just talk about our sponsors right now.
Okay.
We've got Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria in Walnut Creek.
Yeah, it's good pizza.
Good
I've
pizza.
had some.
Okay, we're going to roll them off the graphics here. We had a little breakdown and malfunction. We haven't had too many of those, so we're just going to say that we've been really good this week. And that's Rush in the background there, Steve. Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria in Walnut Creek, great pizza, #1 by the Contra Costa Times readers. Brendan Theaters, 14 screens of movie magic, and you can see Monsters, Inc. or something like that this week. Contra Costa Clean Water Program and Mr. Funnelhead, and as always, Paramount Technology in Concord.
That's where Dave Jackson works. Mr. Funnelhead.
Mr. Funnelhead. After this play, we'll say hello to the other great friends and, of course, everyone waiting with bated breath to hear Steve's friend of the fourth quarter.
Oh, I got a couple good ones, but I'm saving the best for last.
Okay, well, we're going back already to the fourth quarter into live action. Antioch on second down from the 33-yard line, handoff to McGee, and McGee is stuffed right at the line of scrimmage. Now, that was a pack of Eagles.
Yes, it was.
Steve, great friends of the program, Rock Bottom Records, New Mecca Cafe, Images of 3 Hair Salon, S&S Import Service, Golf and Games, Concord Beverage, Pantel's Music Box, A&B Creative Trophies, Mercado's Hairstylist for Men, Action Video and Antioch Opticians. Steve Sanchez, the stage is yours. Who is a great friend?
Well, I'll tell you who a good friend was. He only had one bullet, Barney Fife.
I've got one for you. You know who was a good friend?
Who?
Daryl Hall of Hall & Oates, because he led Oates in the band for all those years.
Oh,
he didn't do a damn thing.
God.
He was a really good friend. Third down. The pitch, a reverse is being set up. Oh, a double reverse, and now a pass. Oh, and he's got a wide open receiver. It's McGee. McGee at the 15. McGee to the 10. Touchdown, Antioch. What a play.
Beautiful play.
What a play! 33 yards on a double reverse option pass from Pate, the quarterback who got it back after 2 handoffs. He hit McGee, who was the initial guy on that play, Steve, and Antioch goes back out on top 2014.
He said, I'm the man. Let's watch the replay right here. I thought he stepped out of bounds on the 2-yard line. Let's see if we can't get it. Right here, Dan, here's a flea flicker, and here's the flea, there's the flick, and right here, he's in the pocket. He just
Did he stand tall in the pocket?
He stood tall in the pocket right here. He's just got a green. Let's see if he don't step out of bounds right here, Dan.
He did step out of bounds. He was out of bounds by about 4 feet.
That's right.
But who cares? Antioch's ahead, and here's Pate for the extra point, and the kick is up. And the kick is good with 11:11 to play here in the 4th quarter, Steve, and it might be 11 before we're out of here.
I know one guy who cares. He has a beard, he has a blue coat on, and he's right across on the other side. He might look at this going,
Mr.
Dan,
Pardee?
I care. He was on the 2-yard line.
Well, that is true. You never know. He does care. But there are no replays in high school football, Steve.
No, but there is there, and he's going to see that. They're going to be watching this in Clayton and saying, hey, what's up with that?
Steve, I've got to think of another friend because I've ran out of. I had George Harrison and Darryl Hall and Keith Richards and Sergeant Schultz. I've got to come up. You've got a good fourth.
I got the one last one for you.
It's just a classic.
Well, I don't know if it's a classic, but I'm going to let you try to decide which one it was.
Oh, okay. Oh, I have to. It's like a trivia.
It's like a trivia, and I bet you guess it because I'm going to give you a nice hint.
You're going to give me a nice lead-in.
Lead-in, right. Okay. And you're pretty good at trivia and know a lot of stuff, and so I think you're going to figure this out.
Okay.
Because you only got one or two you can pick. If you pick the other one, boy, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, I have neglected to tell you that Dan Wall and Steve Sanchez are here tonight with Ron Carter and Matt Bolander, and everyone's doing a fantastic job out here. This is by far the best crew of people we've ever had working with us on this station.
Yeah, we got Fletcher here. Fletcher, he's a great cameraman.
I don't know about what this is over here, the stat guy, but
we
let him in every once. Now, Brian Hatch, I don't know if it was that injury or not, Steve, but Brian Hatch just kicked the ball farther than he ever has in his life. And they just wrap up that guy. That might have motivated Antioch a little bit, that break, Steve, is number 30, Deontay Weisinger.
Deontay?
Yes. You know, like you've had come on.
On the rocks.
I was just, come on, I'm setting you up, man.
Uh-huh.
A nice little fruity Deontay on the rocks.
Yeah. Well, Dan, let's see how Clayton Valley responds. Antioch really respond. Dixon set him up offensive-wise on the return and pumped some life into him. Let's see how Clayton Valley responds. Take it, Dan.
1st and 10 from the 26, a penalty on the play. This is O'Rourke, and O'Rourke gets to the 32-yard line. Tackle made on that play by who should be number 42, but is really number 27, Zach Robinson.
Yeah, he's still running out.
You know, Dan, if you look at Clayton Valley, the last time they had the ball, quite a bit in the first quarter, seems like every time they get the ball, they're getting 5 or 6 yards of crap on each side of the line right there. And they do a real good job.
The end of the runs there.
They've been running on the
Illegal
left.
shift.
Here we go.
On White, black captain. Take him back or you want to stay here?
Ray Stevens.
Kenny Leffel.
Kenny Leffel.
His, I think it was his son. His son was a kicker for Pittsburgh.
Was
I always, because Ken's not that old, and I figured, having an 18, was it his brother? It was his nephew. It was okay, it wasn't his son.
That's what Funnelhead's here for.
That's why he's here. Yeah, that's why we got Dave Jackson, to tell us stuff like that. But I know there was a Leffel that kicked for Pittsburgh. How's that? He pitched for Pittsburgh as well. Yeah.
Okay.
You wouldn't want to be a pitcher for the Arizona Diamondbacks in their bullpen right now, would you?
No.
And another penalty. Steve, it's going to be 1st and 20. It's our first location of the game in your hometown. I'm going to leave it for you, hidden right into your UPS route.
Right there, down there to the left?
Yeah.
Okay.
So after this call, it's offside.
You're trying to
I was all pumped
You're
up for the
working this thing to
location.
death.
It was going to be 1st and 20, and now it's just 1st and 10. Give us a little location. Can you just give us? It's like first and
the Matchmaker. It's not that far.
Oh, it's not that right. Yeah, right there, the
there.
Matchmaker.
Matchmaker.
There you go.
Matchmaker Restaurant. Great prime rib on Saturday and Friday nights.
Well, that's why we have you up here. 1st and 10. Clayton Valley right back where they started. 10:26 to go in this ball game. Handoff O'Rourke, and O'Rourke has some yardage. O'Rourke's out in the open field to the 40. O'Rourke to the 50. And Robinson drags him out of bounds at the 43-yard line. Steve, this is like arena football. It's just back and forth right now.
And you know what? I remember last week you said, you know what? We're going to go do that Clayton Valley Antioch game. I don't know why, but it's probably going to be 38-31 by the time it's done. And I said, he's probably right. Something like this. And, yeah, let's watch the replay right here. right here. Here's Pat O'Rourke right here, and he's probably got to have a $150 in yardage too coming up to it, Dan. He breaks off right there, and there's his speed, and he takes off in 27 right here, takes him on out, but that's about a 30-yard gain, Dan.
33-yard gain, 142 yards tonight for O'Rourke. Steve Sanchez, tonight's a winner. You are the color man of the night. But then again, you're the color man every night.
That's right. I like
5-yard gain on first down. So Clayton Valley moving the ball, Steve, trying to go in and tie this one up with 9:44 to go. And this has really been a good football game.
It really has, Dan. It's lived up to its billing, sort of say.
It wasn't really advanced, but it was a billing.
It was a billing. And it's lived up to it because we said it was going to be a good game. And we've told people it was going to be a good game.
We've had some good games this year. We've had a few blowouts, but we've had some competitive ball games as well, as Antioch jumped off sides, but I don't know if they're going to get Antioch or Clayton for that motion.
Well, I thought the Antioch guy got back. I don't know.
You know who's had a rough night tonight, too, Steve, is Jeff Rich, the principal from Antioch, who I see here. He had some rough hooligans in the crowd. I saw him disciplining early in the game. Then, of course, he had to take care of Mark Smith and get the ambulance out here and all that. Much less the fact that there's then they had a situation with the lady having chest pains, and they do call it offsides on Antioch, so 2 offside penalties on this drive, and it's going to be second and very short.
Well, one thing I can say, I did bring a smile to Jeff Ritz's face today because I delivered his cigars to him in his office. And they were next day air. I brought them right to him. I said, Jeff, next day air, I know you like them. Here they are. You take it, Dan.
2nd and 1. Fake one-way, handoff O'Rourke. O'Rourke out in the open field. Once again, a first down for Clayton Valley inside the 30-yard line down near the 23. And Clayton Valley moving the ball, and O'Rourke now, Steve, over 150 yards tonight. You were right on the money.
Let's watch the replay right here, Dan. Here's O'Rourke right here, just a little misdirection, and they run on the right-hand side of Coddington and Mitchell and McDivitt. They open up the hole right there, and, boy, he's really putting a good game together, and guess what? Our friend Overtime is knocking at the door.
Overtime's knocking,
and we might just let him in tonight.
We've got an injured Antioch Panther. It's number 21, Lontavius Johnson, as the training staff comes out there. And, Steve, you know, I did ask one as you take a look at the comparison tonight, and look at this. And this is exactly what you might have thought, that Clayton was going to run the ball just like crazy when you look at the amount of yardage Antioch's given up, the 4 sophomores starting on defense. But Antioch's had some good success passing-wise as you take a look at Lontavius. But, Steve, I did ask the question, and it is like a class thing that they do. That's why there's always, you know, we were kind of joking that one night that there's all these people. But it is like a class, so they all go, that's why they all go out there to see what's happening.
Right. But, Dan, you know, I think Coach Ferris Anthony kind of alluded what me and you were talking about is when he came back off the field, he said that we're very fortunate to be in this game, and they really were, and so they who's this guy,
That's
Dan?
Following tonight's game, CC Rock. We're going to start a new one, and it's Billy Squire. And, Steve, you didn't get the trivia question last week. It's Piper, who was the band Billy Squire was in before he was Billy Squire. Then he went away for about 10 years, and then he came back. And part 2 is Queensryche. And, Steve, as you're watching this game Sunday night at 7 o'clock, I'll be at the Fillmore seeing Queensryche for real.
I'm worried about you. I don't want you going over that bridge, Dan.
Oh, well, hey, you know what? I ain't going to let them mess with me. I'll tell you that right now. I'll swim. First down. Hand off to Turin, and Turin blasts ahead for 5. Redmond was over there. Antioch getting some good efforts from some young players tonight, Steve. Jesse Williams getting up off the ground, who's played a very good game for Antioch tonight. But Clayton Valley knocking on the door inside the red zone at the 18-yard line. 8:41 to go fourth quarter. 21-14 Antioch. We'll see Antioch again next week against their arch rival, the Pittsburgh Pirates, the 83rd Big Little game right here on AT&T Broadband. 2nd and 5 for Clayton. 2 tight ends in the game and back split, and this is O'Rourke. And O'Rourke's got blocking, Steve, and he can run all the way to the Stam Theater if he wants to, although he's taken off his feet at the 1-yard line. It's going to be a 1st and goal for the Clayton Valley Ugly Eagles as they try to tie this one up.
Let's watch a replay right here, Dan. And what they do, they like that right side over there with McDivitt and Coddington and Mitchell. And they do a little misdirection. Right here, it looks like, boy, he's got an escort like the President of the United States right there coming down. And he gets down the 1-yard line. Real nice saving tackle by number 27 of Antioch. No,
it's Lontavius Johnson.
Lontavius Johnson, okay.
I take that back. It's Zach Robinson changed his jersey and is messing you up. 203 yards for O'Rourke in tonight's game.
Antioch jumped again.
And motion or an offsides at the line of scrimmage. Steve, he had a bunch of other guys out there, too. I thought I saw Kramus out there, and I saw pulling guard number 58, Brian Arbor.
Distance, still first.
Sorry, Ken Leffel. He was given that That call half the distance to the goal, which was from about 2 feet to 1 foot.
I'll tell you what you missed.
What?
Offsides up in the left on first down. That's all you missed.
Kenny Leppel is one of those high school guys. He does basketball, he does football, he does sight directing. He does all that kind of stuff. He refs in college. He likes to ref those football games. And that's turn, Steve, and turn is in for a Clayton Valley touchdown. Touchdown, Ugly Eagles, 21-20 with 7:43 to go, Steve. And just as we predicted, even though everything looked real ugly coming in, we have a real nice ball game going out.
Yeah, we really do, and this is a very important extra point, to say the least. Let's watch the replay right here. They just busted on the left-hand side behind Sam Ray and Brian Armour right there, and he does a real good job, and real important extra point. A lot of time left in this game, Dan. 7:43. Anybody can win it still. Of course, we're pulling for overtime.
Exactly. Lucia on. I've never done an overtime game, Steve. The only one I would have done was that Antioch-Pittsburgh game they didn't let me and Clay do about 10 years ago, which led to us doing every game since. Here's Lucia on for the extra point. Steve, he kicked that down to Humphreys.
Boy, he at least.
That was right down the middle, good. The score was 7:43 to go in the ball game. The Antioch Panthers 21, the Clayton Valley Ugly Eagles 21. O'Rourke with 203 yards in tonight's game. Is he your player of the game, Steve?
Oh, so far for Clayton Valley, he really is, Dan. He's really impressed me, and he's done a lot of good stuff. Who's that, Dan?
It sounds like Rush. It's Ron and Matt just trying to kill time is what it is, really.
I see.
Let's review quickly, Steve. We talked about the first half scores. Lucia, a 19-yard pass from Maris, the first touchdown. Then Hilton, a 65-yard pass, and that beautiful screen pass that got Antioch on the board. Rowe had a 3-yard pass from Pate to put Antioch ahead 14-7. Then O'Rourke, a 1-yard run, made it 14-14. McGee then with the option pass from 33 yards made it 21-14. Antioch, and Turn just recently a 1-yard run makes it 21-21. 7:43 to go, Steve, and it's 10:22 on a Friday night here at Antioch High School.
Well, I might as well just stay out with you now.
We want to know what happened to this game. We had a long JV game.
Okay.
Then we had warm-ups.
Right.
Then we had the senior presentation.
Okay.
Then we had the senior band presentation.
Yeah.
Then we had the senior cheerleader presentation. I'm surprised they didn't bring out the senior presentation.
Ah.
Then we had the long game. We've had a lot of times and timeouts and stalls and halftime, and then unfortunately we had a long injury break, and now we have 7:43 to go, and it's curfew.
Well, they were going to have the senior presentation, but they're all sleeping. Onside kick,
And
big bounce.
they put it down on the ground. And guess who got that ball for Antioch, Steve?
Jesse Williams.
I'm telling you, guys everywhere now.
I'm just guessing.
I'm looking for, if they had a bus, he'll probably drive the bus to Pittsburgh next week. But he's kicked, he's held, he's got fumbles, he's gotten kickoff, he's caught, he's played defense.
He's taken. He's fallen.
Jesse Williams. I'm going right now, no matter what else happens, though. Jesse Williams and O'Rourke, players of the game.
Player of the game. I'll go with you.
And there's still 7:38 to go.
Ain't this fun, Dan?
It's a blast. It's unbelievable how much fun it is.
Remember the fun
I
we
can't
used
believe
to have a
people
long time
actually
ago?
get paid to do this.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Ball at the 33, handoff McGee right up the middle. McGee still on his feet. McGee, a good run, a gain of 9.
The blood transfusion still working.
Kramus made the tackle out to the 43-yard line.
Picks
So
up about 9 yards.
let's take a look at that. Take the replay, Steve.
Let's watch the replay right here, Dan. They got a pulling guard right there. There's Hatch. He just buries his man. Billy Wills buries his man. And right there, he turns up the field and gets his own effort for about 4 yards. The Antioch's line is starting to play a little bit better in the second half.
McGee 65 yards in the second half after a 3-yard effort in the first half. Antioch 2nd and 1 from the 43. The game tied at 21, fourth quarter. And here's Pate to McGee. McGee up the middle. McGee's on his feet. Oh, he's on his horse. He's tripped up at the 39-yard line. I'll tell you, Steve, McGee really is. This is one of the best games he's had.
It really has. It's really a good one. And I'm going to say this guy's name. Michael Yoshisaki.
Yoshisaki, very
Did
good,
I get
Steve.
it?
Yes.
Yoshisaki. Right here. Comes on in. And
just barely. A touchdown-saving tackle.
yeah, it really
Steve.
was. A game-saving tackle maybe even.
Well, maybe.
Maybe.
Might have just been a drive-saving tackle, though, since there's still 6:42
I know one
to go.
thing. It was a tackle.
First down. McGee again. McGee positive yardage once again. And then, I'll tell you what, number 77, Chad Mitchell said, you know what, you might get 3 or 4, but that's all you're getting.
That's all you're getting.
Because he just drug him right down. Yeah, that was a horse ride, right?
Let's watch this right here, Dan. And right here, he's just, McGee's looking like he's running with a little termination. And watch 72 grabs him, but McGee says, just let me go. He says, no, you ain't going nowhere.
That was Mitchell.
Yeah, Mitchell, nice tackle.
The
That's what Jim Baccio wants to see more of. Jim Baccio goes, I used to run like that.
Oh, well, of course he did, and so did his son.
Brian.
2nd and 4. Pate running the option. That wasn't the right option.
I should have pitched.
Yes, you can always say that after.
Yeah.
Number 55, Rife, and number 74, Jaggers. Elliot Jaggers. Antioch has a Jagger, too, Zach Jaggers. You got Mick Jagger, Zach Jagger, and Elliot Jaggers.
Wow.
Yammer Yager. Here's a replay.
Here's a replay right there, and, yeah.
Let's take that play out of the playbook.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
3rd and 3. This is a big play for Antioch, Steve. 5:26 to go. Game tied at 21. 3 wide receivers in the ball game. And T. Dixon is the running back, Steve. And we'll like to see what they're going to run here. That's Hilton in motion. And too much time for Antioch.
Boy, that hurts.
We mentioned that last week, Steve, and it doesn't hurt as much this week watching this game because it's 21-21, but last week all the mistakes were just glaring as I watched the replay of our game, and I thought maybe I'd been a little too hard on Antioch, and I asked Ferris, and he said, no, we were just that bad. I mean, they don't mess around, they tell you straight up.
That's one thing about Ferris, that he don't get really offended, he goes, we played crappy, and if you said we played crappy, you're probably right.
Yeah, Well, you got on me for keeping mentioning the score. The first thing I read when I opened the paper.
You know why I got on you? Because I never get to get on you.
The first thing I saw when I opened the paper today was Antioch.
I bet you thought of me.
Outscored by all these players. Steve Sanchez. Look at that pass over the middle to Rowe.
Nice.
Oh, Rowe made a great play as he reached for the first down. Great coverage that time from Cohn, but a first down for Antioch moves the chains. 4:50 to go, Steve.
And Joey Pate's putting himself a little game together here, Dan. Right here, he stands short in the pocket, Dan, and throws it over and reaches Rowe.
Cliche number 4.
And just picks up the first down. Real nice. That was a big, big play right there. Antioch's knocking at the door again with 4:30 to go.
The ball at the 25. Pate, handoff, McGee, and McGee is tackled by Kramus after a short gain. Steve, another one of your great sayings is, you're exactly right, Dan. You say that a lot, and it's my
because you're
favorite.
Exactly right.
Thank you.
And you're exactly right, Dan.
I can't wait till you're after the game friend.
Okay. You're going to have to pick them, though.
This is an interesting situation for Antioch, Steve. The kicking game for both of these teams has actually been good tonight. Do you kick a field goal down here? You're almost in field goal range.
Heck no, man. I throw it in the end zone to Rowe for a touchdown.
2nd and 8. Handoff McGee. McGee outside. McGee's going to get a first down, and what a great tackle, though. That was O'Rourke, who has been a great player on offense, makes a great defensive play. There looked like McGee was going right to the corner for a first down.
Well, it looked like he could have got more than that if he would have picked up that one more block. Let's watch a block is missed right here. Here comes Billy Wills outside, and he's ready to take on a city block. And right there, he gets to the outside, and there's a missed block right there. And here comes O'Rourke, and he wraps him up, and real good play right there by O'Rourke. The guy's a good player.
You know what? I'm early line next year, all-league tackle, Bill Wills.
That could be.
I mean, he's come out of nowhere.
Yeah, he's really played well.
He weighs 295 pounds, and he's getting out in front of the running backs.
And, he was eating Gorilla Biscuits. He's now eating King Kong muffins.
Well, he's getting them from his dad. 3rd down.
He's open.
He's got a receiver wide open. It's Rowe. Touchdown, Antioch.
What'd I tell you? Did I call that?
You called that play right to Rowe. 19 yards on the touchdown, and Antioch back out in front, 27-21, in a fabulous game, Steve.
A fabulous game, and the thing about it is, you think we'd went to Antioch by the way we sound, but people know that we haven't.
We've been pretty good tonight.
We've been pretty good tonight. Yeah. People in Clayton, they want to choke us right now. But
well, you know why we've been better tonight? Because this game doesn't mean as much as the first game. That was back when it really meant something. Now, we're watching the game. We're happy for the kids.
Well, Dan, Pate's going for the extra point. Guess who's holding?
Jesse Williams.
He's holding. He put that on his resume.
And Pate, the kick is up, and the kick is good. With 3:13 to go, Steve, as we're going to get another look at this touchdown. 28-21 Antioch. Enough time for Clayton to go down and tie it, though. This was a great pass, though, from Pate to Rowe.
And Pate has put a real good game together. He's really come on the second half. It's good to see him. He's really hung in there over the year. And look at this throw, Dan. Oh, baby, right there. Hits him in stride. Throws a good tight end. He's really come on. The band's happy. We're happy.
Joey Pate, 10 of 15, 186 yards and 3 touchdowns tonight, Steve, for the Antioch Panthers. And this is why we thought this game really wasn't a highlight reel. Antioch at 1-3, Clayton at 0-4. But you know, Steve, as I mentioned, a lot of times you get down into those lower levels, teams are more competitive. They're evenly matched.
Yep.
And look what we have here tonight. Maybe the best and most competitive game that we've had all year.
Could be.
You know, you go back, even like College Park, Los Lomas, which was a good game. Los Lomas really dominated
They
statistically
really
in
did.
that game.
Up and down the field.
Probably since the last time we were here in Deer Valley and the time before with Monte Vista and Antioch, we've really had 3 good games at Antioch this year.
Yeah. I think this kickoff is very important, Dan, because you got to look at the Eagles' offense and what they've been doing. They've been running the ball. You got about 3:13 to go. Are they going to have enough time to drive the length of the field? This kickoff is very important. If they get it back to the 50-yard line, they're going to have time. If they're back on the 30 or the 20, it could be tough on them. Let's see how this kickoff goes.
And they kick it, do a little squib kick, and it comes to the up man, McCullough, at the 20-yard line. McCullough is still on his feet. McCullough is outside, and he's still on his feet, Steve. And he's knocked out of bounds near the 30-yard line. That's where they'll take over. I've got to compliment you. You are becoming a really, really good color guy. Now that is what a color man does.
Oh, hey.
Tells you exactly not what the play was. He tells you what the play means.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we're going to sign you to a 2-year contract.
I can't believe you gave me a compliment.
I gave you a compliment.
Man, I'm just like a squirrel in a nut factory. I'm just excited right now.
You're a squirrel. You're a squirrel, all right.
I knew that wasn't going to last long.
Look at, they've only completed 1 pass, Steve, and they have 3:03 to go down the field. The ball at the 32-yard line. Handoff on first down. This is O'Rourke, but they don't need to throw with this guy. O'Rourke, oh, he's at the 50. He's at the 40. O'Rourke has 1 man to beat. He's trying to get a block inside the 10. He's tackled at the 13-yard line. Is this unbelievable? Penalty on the play.
Thought I'd point that out to you,
Oh,
Dan.
man, I was going bananas.
Let's watch the replay. Let's see if we can't pick up the penalty, Dan. You watch the ref, I watch the replay. Watch number 58 just kick out his man. Does a real good job. And here's a good cutback right here by O'Rourke. And it's coming back, but look at this run. This is a shame. Because I'll tell you what, this kid has just put his whole career on the line out here today.
Yes, he has.
And he has just really done a great job. And 27, that would have been close to 200 yards for him.
Over
on the
200
night.
yards.
Yeah, if he would have had that run right there. And like you said, they don't need to pass.
He would have been over 250 yards if that run would have counted, Steve. But the run is now going to be marked off. The penalty came 10 yards down on a hold. So basically that whole play is washed out with 2:47 to go, Steve. And we were still rooting for overtime. Might still get it, though. The way they're running, just run it again. Just First and 11, and now, oh, they mismarked it. It's going to be 1st and 8 from the 36-yard line. That's where Clayton Valley will go. Actually, the 35-yard line, Steve. 2:47 to go. 28-21 Panthers. And here's Clayton Valley, and O'Rourke is this is one of the greatest performances we've ever seen. And Maris is going to throw. He's got a receiver. He goes up the sideline, and that's pass interference.
Yep.
Number 21 for Antioch, Lontavius Johnson on the coverage, but he was holding Lucia, and that penalty is going to put Clayton Valley in business, Steve, with 2:35 to go.
Yeah, that's really a big, let's listen to him.
Defensive pass interference on Antioch. 15 from the previous spot. First down.
This is going to put them at midfield, Steve, and you know, I'm surprised. I saw Mortensen, the tight end, break free. And as we take a look at this one, but Steve, and let's see the.
Let's see if we can. Yeah, there's the contact
he
right
pushed
there.
off right
the
there.
ball's in the air. That's a good call, Dan.
Good call. They, Herc Pardee always liked the tight end at Pittsburgh, Steve. He
Yes,
always
he
had
did.
some good tight ends, and they haven't thrown the ball to the tight end tonight. That would, I think they threw 1 pass to Mortensen. So
They brought Billy Wills out. He's been playing on defense too. I guess if they just saying, Billy, you've been playing that good on offense, we'll put you on defense.
and his dad's down there right now giving him a high five, which is a good sign.
Yeah. That means he's going to feed him a gorilla biscuit when he gets
He's
home.
taking him to Foster Freeze after tonight's game.
He goes, son, you have the whole menu.
First down at midfield. This is O'Rourke on misdirection once again on first down, and he's tackled after a 4-yard gain.
Hey.
I'll tell you, there's another guy that's played great with a cast on his hand is Jorge Lopez, number 25 for Antioch. And Steve, there's another guy that's going to be back next year at 5'8" and 170.
Uh-huh.
He's next year's Richie Beltram.
Yes, he is. And Richie Belter will be back next year.
It'll be 2nd and 6 for Clayton Valley at the 46-yard line. 28-21 Antioch, Steve. What would you do here? You know, O'Rourke, you figure you're going to go to O'Rourke.
Yes,
That's why I'm thinking tight end.
Well, Dan, you know, they could do that, but they've really been getting huge chunks of change running the ball right now in the second half. I mean, they've been getting 12, 10 yards a crack, so I don't see them passing right here. They got plenty of time. They got good field position. Look for them to put the ball on the ground with O'Rourke and keep things going.
Play action. Maris to throw. Has a receiver. That's the tight end. That's Mortensen, and he is hammered at the 27-yard line. Steve, I think we're going to have another injury timeout because Mortensen got hammered. Let's see who did this hammering.
He's getting up, and like I said, Dan, they were going to throw the ball downfield. And here
You're
it
so
is.
incredible.
Here it is, right here. He just faked O'Rourke, faked me out, faked out the defense, and the co-director's nephew right here makes a nice catch and gets racked because he says, I know who's producing this program, and I'm going to hit you hard.
And that was the mystery jersey, Zach Robinson. First down, Clayton Valley, driving with 2:10 to go.
That was Matt Bolander's, what's his nephew?
Mortensen's is Matt's nephew.
Nephew, Matt? No wonder
What do
we're
you
here.
think? I was just going to say, why do you think we're here? O'Rourke up the middle. This is O'Rourke. He's going to go in for a touchdown. 27 yards with 1:54 to go, and they're an extra point conversion away from sending us into overtime. Is this incredible?
This is unbelievable.
But Antioch's got 1:54 to go down, Steve. Let's see what we got.
Let's watch the replay right here, Dan. And right here is just a misdirection, and there's right there they got their whole side pulley right there. Great block by number 78 of Sam Ray. Does a real nice block downfield, and there he is, just scooting on in, and he's having a great night.
O'Rourke has almost 230 yards rushing in tonight's
Wow.
game, Steve, as the extra point is up and good. And we're tied at 28 with 1:54 to go. And, Steve, I want you to think about something, though. Of all the good things that Joey Pate's done this year, what is the one thing that has killed him in a number of games?
Interceptions.
And not only interceptions,
Return for touchdowns.
Return for touchdowns. And that's something that Clayton Valley's got to be looking for with 1:54 to go, and Antioch forced into a passing situation. But the way Pate's been kicking field goals, they only need to get into the 20, Steve, and maybe they can kick a field goal and win this one.
Dan, the thing about it is they have plenty of time with Antioch's offense the way Pate's been throwing the ball. They got 1:54, and again, I can't allude on this stuff. This kickoff return is going to mean a big deal on the way they approach this here. And Antioch's had some good special team plays tonight, Dan, so let's watch this.
I wouldn't kick that short, high kick that they kick. I would just squib one and make Williams or someone like they have in the past fall down on the ball and make Antioch go about 65 yards with 1:54 to go.
I'd agree with you. Well, the 1:54 to go, Dan, like I said, with Joey Pate, the way he's been throwing, plenty of time. And remember, they don't need 7, they need 3.
And see, we have a different kicker out there, Steve. That's number 53, Billy McDevitt. And they do kick it short, and Antioch falls on it. Now that, and guess who fell on it, Steve?
If you say Williams, I'm going to jump out of this.
Jesse Williams.
Wow.
But they're at the 39-yard line.
Yeah, that's good field position right there. I would have kicked it away all the way deep as I could.
I would have kicked it, or at least really sent a hard squib onto it that could have forced some play on the ball down in Antioch territory. But Antioch takes over the ball at the 39.
Hence the squib kick. You say you're going to squib it.
That's what I said.
I've never heard of that word before. Is that a word?
Squib, yes.
You couldn't use squib and scrabble.
One of our great sponsors, Greg Vallejo, is a Tower Power fan. They had Squib Cakes was a song by Tower Power. McGee on first down. Outside, and McGee falls down at the 44-yard line after a gain of 5. On defense for Clayton Valley, Jurancic. And so the clock is running. 1:39 to go in this one, Steve. And this is where Pate can be real dangerous with play action as they send in a play. That's Brett Fisher, and the offensive coordinator is Bob Fisher.
Well, Pate has shown through the year he's thrown for 11 touchdowns and 11 interceptions, so he could be double dangerous.
He's good for both teams. Second down, Pate to throw. He wants Hilton, and he's got Hilton at the sideline, but Hilton slipped down at the 39-yard line. Defense once again from number 26, Evan Jurancic. It's going to be 3rd and 5.
Let's watch a replay right here, Dan. And here's Joey right here kind of rolling out a little bit. He's got good protection, and he really feels comfortable and puts on, when he gets time, he really can throw the ball. And right there, you can see him going down, hit him right in the head.
That looked like the Jose Canseco catch in right field in Cleveland that one night. Remember that?
The one that went for a home run?
Yeah, that's what that looked like.
Jose won't live that down.
3rd and 4. The ball at the Antioch 45. 1 minute and 15 seconds to go. Antioch with a couple of timeouts. The game tied at 28. What a battle out here tonight on AT&T Broadband. Pate to throw on 3rd down. Pate's forced out of the pocket. And I'll tell you, that's one thing that Joey Pate isn't, Steve. He's not very elusive, and he's tackled for a short loss. It's going to bring up 4th down. What do you do here?
Well, they're going to call timeout and talk it over, and they're going to end up throwing the ball.
You're going to go for it here?
Is it 4th down?
It's 4th down at the 45-yard. You don't get this.
Oh,
you give
no,
it
no,
to
hold
O'Rourke,
on.
and it's a touchdown.
I thought it was 3rd down. You got to punt, Dan. That's all you can do.
Thank you.
You can't give them the ball right here. Not with 1:04 left. You got to kick off. You got to punt, put them in a hole. But I was talking to the Pantel brothers today. They told me to tell you. They found out what happened to the A's. They figured it all out. Ever since they traded Reggie Jackson to the Yankees, it's been the curse of the Reggerino. That's what they told me to tell you. That's what the Pantel brothers told me to tell you.
What do you three smoke at lunch to come up with stories like that?
They said it's the curse of the Reggerino.
They see the UPS truck down there at Pantel's. It looks like that one in Up in Smoke on the side of the bar.
They thought you would enjoy that.
The Reggerino. I used to have Reggie bars back when I was a child. I don't know what Antioch's doing right now, Steve. You would think they're going to punt and not even question it.
You have to punt and try to get into overtime and hold them. But I'll tell you what, Clayton Valley's offense has really been potent here in the second half, especially in this 4th quarter, Dan. They have not been able to stop the run, Antioch's defense.
They're going for a block, Steve. They have no one deep. Clayton Valley playing for a block here on 4th down. Here's the snap. Good snap. And Hatch, good kick. If this takes an Antioch bounce, it's going to take a lot. Oh, and it does take an Antioch bounce. Inside the 20 and down at the 14-yard line with 55 seconds to go. They need to go 85 yards in 55 seconds, Steve. You know what? You might get your dream. Finally, overtime. But the way O'Rourke's been running, 3 runs, he could be a touchdown.
Yeah, he might end up with 300 yards. Who's the last guy to gain 300 yards here on this field, Dan?
In this field right here?
Yeah.
Did anyone ever gain 300 yards on this
Mr.
field?
Magical.
Oh, did he gain 300
Yes,
yards?
he did.
Okay. First down, Clayton Valley. The ball at the 17-yard line, the spot.
Dan,
55 seconds to go.
There
Go
was
ahead,
a kid
Steve.
from Jesse Bethel last week, ran for 583 yards from Vallejo.
Unbelievable.
One game.
And here's O'Rourke. And O'Rourke has a good gain of 6. Let's see what happens with the clock here. Clayton Valley calls a timeout. The ball at the 24, Steve, with 47 seconds to go. I think Clayton Valley might have one timeout left here. That's one thing we don't have on this scoreboard is timeouts remaining, Steve, and it's 10:43.
Wow.
Oh, man, this is a long, long game. And let's hope that Mark Smith is okay as he's at the hospital right now.
Yeah, I've been thinking about him too, Dan. My thoughts are with him.
And, Mark, one of the things that would cheer him up is an Antioch victory out here tonight, of course, because Antioch has really fallen on hard times this last couple of weeks, Steve, as we take a look at our remaining schedule. Miramani at Las Lomas next week, and Judas Priest in the background, and Antioch and Pittsburgh. And we'll play that back on Sunday at 3 o'clock, and then Thursday at 9:30 in Antioch and Pittsburgh. So big week of football next week right here on AT&T Broadband. Be sure to join us, and the World Series will be over by then, so you got no excuse but to watch us.
That's right.
I just want it to end, because then the Giants can start spring training in about 3 weeks. 2nd and 3 with 47 seconds to go, Steve. Clayton Valley trying to get into a scoring position to win this one in regulation. And the handoff is to Turin, and Turin just does the Mike Allstott. Oh, no. Oh.
That was close.
Be careful there, number 10, who's the sophomore Tim Whittle. You nearly had a late hit and a timeout.
Let's watch the replay right here, Dan. And here's the big man. He's been doing a very good job all night. And he just moves the pile, does his Allstott, and watch the kid come in late right here. Oh, that's a late hit.
That was a late hit.
He got away with one right there.
He got away with that. He was already on the ground. There was a great block in the line there, too. I couldn't get the number. I don't know if it was Mortensen or Kramus or one of those guys, but someone just collapsed an Antioch player there, Steve.
Well, Dan, you really got to just give all the praise to Joe Morrison, Sam Ray, Brian Armour, Billy McDivitt, Alan Coddington, and Chad Mitchell. The offensive, their whole offensive line for Clayton Valley's done a great job.
I thought
tonight.
you gave all the praise to God and took your hats off to the offensive line for Clayton Valley.
Well, I give my praise to God, but I ain't got a hat to take off tonight. So I'm just going to tell you that all them guys have done a great job tonight.
First down for Clayton Valley at the 35-yard line. 41 seconds to go, and they can't have too many more timeouts, Steve. They're going to have to start using passes to the sideline. And here's a reverse handoff to O'Rourke, and O'Rourke gets out to the 40. I think Clayton is going to – they're going to have to let the clock run, Steve. They don't have any more timeouts.
No.
They've used them all. So this is going to get to be very interesting with clock management. 2nd and 5 at the 40. And Maris just goes back and throws it into the ground, and there's a penalty on that play. I think there was either a delay or maybe a motion, Steve. As we remind you once again, following tonight's game, CC Rock, as we get the call from Ken Leffel, it was motion. Following tonight's game,
down.
Billy Squire and then Queensryche, as it's a loss of down on that motion play, Steve.
Wow.
So it's going to be 3rd down and 5. You don't know who Queensryche is, Steve?
Who?
Queensryche.
Yeah, I know who they are.
All right. Do you know who Queen is?
I know who Queen is.
Do you know who the Queen is?
I know who the Queen is.
Okay.
I know who the King is too, baby. That's right, a little Priscilla, a little Percodan. Well, Dan, there's 20 seconds to go. What do you do here?
Well, it's lost it down there, Steve. You know what I do right now, Steve? It's 3rd and it's going to be 3rd and about 9, and 20 seconds, no timeouts. I'd throw that sideline pass again, see maybe if I can get a pass interference call.
Well, we're going to see is 20 seconds left. They're on the 20-yard line, no time. We're going to see how well Ferris Anthony knows.
Right
Coach
now,
Pardee.
it's Maris against Ferris.
There's
and a fumble. Oh, the ball's on the ground. Antioch has it with 15 seconds to go. Oh, my goodness gracious. Let's get a look at this, Steve. Who got the ball for Antioch? I know Jorge Lopez was in there, or Jorge Lopez.
Williams got it.
Jesse Williams, player of the game for Antioch.
Let me see if he does, Dan. Right here, here's O'Rourke. Right here,
Oh.
it came out early.
Yeah,
and here comes Williams crushed him.
Oh,
Let's say number 22.
It was number 22, DeMont Anderson.
DeMont.
Who made that play. Steve, Antioch is at the 35-yard line of Clayton.
Did you see that kid's hair?
No, can we see
My
it again?
God.
Can we get another look at that angle, Ron?
Can we go back to the crowd? I'm going to see how good my cameraman is.
No, that answers that question. No,
Well,
there it is.
There, look at that. Huh?
The hair on the left
Look
right
at the
there.
hair on the left right there.
Man.
Look at that. Look at that. That would make a train take a dirt road right there.
Let's send it down to Joey.
Thanks, Dan. Antioch took a chance by punting the ball. They got the ball back from the fumble. Coach is waiting to get closer for a field goal. That's what they want to do to win this game. Back to you.
Thanks, Joey. I don't know what. Yeah. I was going to say, I don't know. One thing that we do not have here, and we're going to have to put Dave Jackson, Mr. Funhead, in charge of his timeouts, because we don't know if Antioch has one left. But right now, what your strategy obviously is to get maybe, if you got a timeout, you can go to the sideline or maybe go up the field once. If you can go at 15 yards, Pate would have a chance at about a 37-yard field goal to win this one.
And he's
Steve.
got the leg to do that.
Would your business like to join the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week team? A great opportunity to increase viewer awareness of your business while supporting local high school sports. Call 933-6264 as we're back to play. Here's Pate rolling. Pate goes to the sideline. He's got Hilton at the 24-yard line with 10 seconds to go.
They can still do another play, Dan.
I would run one more play. I'd run the same play, Steve.
Let's watch this replay right here, Dan. Here's Joey. He kind of runs on out. The guy starts to clock late, saves Antioch a couple seconds. Right here, he runs to the right, and he throws it. Watch him tiptoe in. Hilton has been doing a great job.
Hilton's had a great game tonight, Steve.
And you know that he's related to the guy who owns the Hilton Hotel?
Is he really?
No. But I had you going there for a minute.
Steve, it's almost midnight, for Christ's sakes. I don't even know what city I'm in anymore. 10 seconds left. What a ball game tonight. Pate, one more time to throw. He throws over the middle. Oh, he was trying to go to Rowe, and he got hammered by Rife, who was in there. And there's 7 seconds to go. You know, Steve, what I do here is just a quick out to Hilton and then bring on the field goal team.
Even if it's 5 or 6 yards.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because you still got overtime.
Sure.
This could go to like 6 or 7 overtimes the way these two teams are playing right now. What a football game, though.
Well, you
I'm
called
so
it, Dan.
glad I decided to come.
But it was either that or Matt was going to fire us. Can we be fired?
No.
No.
We don't get paid.
Oh.
By the way, let's send our condolences out to the guy at Channel 36. That was a ripoff. We'll talk about that in between the break. Here's Pate to throw. And Pate throws, I think that was that Nolan? Yes, it was, and it's incomplete with 3 seconds to go. And, Steve, I think they're going to send Joey Pate. Joey Pate's going to have to kick a 42-yard field goal.
Hey.
And it's timeout, the last timeout for the Antioch Panthers. Steve, I haven't seen this much strategy at Antioch High School since I was trying to get a date to the junior prom.
Where's Bob? Where's Bob Brinley when you need him?
Oh, God. Let's bring in that Kim guy and give up another home run in the bottom of the ninth.
I know what Bob Brinley would do right now.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, yeah, he'd bring in Kim to kick a field goal. He'd slice it off that pole. We go to overtime.
He'd do a draw with Billy Wills.
Here's us. My mom's at home right now going, I can't believe my son's been on for 3.5 hours.
Your mom watches you?
No. Had you going?
Got me back.
I have to call my mom. I go, Mom, what are you doing right now? It's 7 o'clock. Watching Matlock. You're not watching me? Okay, Steve. They're going to spot this at the 32-yard line, a 42-yard attempt. This is such an important kick that they've sent 2 guys down. We've got a camera underneath the goalpost.
Just in case.
This might be the biggest field goal attempt in Antioch history.
Them officials said they got a camera down there. We got to send a couple guys
down. We got to go because if we mess this up.
Yeah. They're going to have it on film.
3 seconds to go. Tied at 28. If Joel Johnson was still here, this wouldn't be such a mystery. Pate, the kick. It's up. It's good. Wait a minute. Good. It's good. Oh, my God. What the? Unbelievable. Joey Pate, that looked like a 9-iron off the tee from Steve Sanchez, and it just barely made it to the green. 31-28 Antioch. We'll be back in 2 minutes to catch our breath and wrap this one up on AT&T Broadband. What a game.
Tonight's AT&T Broadband Game of the Week is made possible in part by a generous donation from Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Located in the Encina Grande Shopping Center, Rocco's Ristorante Pizzeria has classic Italian pastas and gourmet pizzas in a family atmosphere. Locally owned and operated by Rocco Bialy and family, Rocco's was voted the best pizza by readers of the Contra Costa Times. A great place to go to watch the AT&T Broadband Game of the Week. And Brendan Theaters Concord, featuring 14 screens of movie magic. All theaters have Lucasfilm THX digital sound systems, stadium-style seating with high-back, comfortable love-seat chairs, and an unobstructed view. Reserve your tickets over the phone, and remember, movies always make a great gift. You can even find your favorite movie soundtrack in the lobby of the theater. And Paramount Technology of Concord. Located behind Tower Records in Concord, Paramount Technology has it all. Mobile computer service calls, in-house repair, and a friendly atmosphere. Your computer wizards with expert service and products for today and tomorrow's computer world. Thanks again to Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria of Walnut Creek, Brendan Theaters of Concord and Pittsburgh, and Paramount Technology of Concord for being part of our community and making tonight's production possible.
Frankie, what are you doing underneath your car?
What do you think I'm doing? I'm changing my oil and filter.
Come on, let's go. The girls won't wait forever.
As soon as I clean this mess up, we can go.
Toss that oil and filter in the garbage. We gotta go.
Are you crazy? I'm not stupid. If I dump this oil and filter in that garbage can, it will end up polluting the nearby landfill and later the bay.
Just toss it in the garbage over there, or in the storm drain.
Boy, Chaz, you just don't get it. Whatever goes down the storm drains goes directly to the river, delta, and the bay, and most importantly, to your precious surf beaches.
You're kidding me, right?
No, I'm not. Do the right thing. Take care of your used motor oil and filter and recycle it.
Back at Antioch High School, what a finish. The Panthers 31 and the Clayton Valley Ugly Eagles 28. Stephen, let's take a look at the winning field goal once again. Look at this angle we got
This is
here.
a beautiful angle right here, Danny. Joey he puts his whole leg into it, and he kicks it clean, and check this out. What a thing of beaut. 42 yards out with 3 seconds, no pressure. And there it goes.
And there it is. It's good. And, Steve, it was the longest field goal call in the history of field goal calls. The refs almost ran to the 20-yard line before they made that call.
Yes, they did.
Let's send it down to Joey. He's in a mass of people down there. He's got the coach and the winning team.
Thanks, Dan. We're here with the winning team, the Antioch Panthers, the man of the night. 4 touchdowns, 4 extra points there, and a field goal with 3 seconds to go, a 42-yarder. Joey, tell us about your night tonight. Tell us about that trick play that you threw to Aaron McGee.
It was crazy. All night was crazy. We just came out and fought hard till the end. We won.
Now, Joey, you hurt your right knee. You got kicked in the shin with a helmet. Is this the best night of your life?
Yeah, it was fun. Very fun.
Tell us about your teammates. What'd you tell them in the huddle that last play?
Just block, and I'll kick it. That's all I could say.
Hey, Joey, congratulations. We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
He could have your
job,
job,
And now for the
Sanchez.
winning coach, Coach Anthony. Coach, a crazy game. You faced a good opponent there. 3 seconds to go. Wow. Tell us about it.
Yeah, I think, if you watched it, you'd see it was pretty crazy. We played well in the second half. I mean, the first half we didn't play very well. Second half we came out and we played well. We ran the ball like, I thought that we could, and we did run the ball, and it helped open up the passing game. But, it's our, we're thinking about Mark Smith.
Yeah.
And, we're going to just be with Mark right now, and the win was for him. Last thing he said was win this game and to have Zach Robinson pick us up and have Joey play his best, and I think that's what happened. And, our hearts and prayers are with them right now. It's win's a win, but we got to go on, right?
Coach, congratulations. We'll see you next week. Back up to you, Dan and Steve.
Yeah, thanks, Joey. You feel for Ferris Anthony in that situation, talking about his fallen warrior out there, Mark Smith, Steve.
Well, Dan, one thing about Ferris Anthony, he may not be in a class by himself, but it don't take long to take roll call.
That's right. Let's recap the scoring quickly. Steve, Lucia, 19-yard pass from Maris to make it 7-0 Clayton in the first half, and then Hilton, a 65-yard screen pass. That was all the scoring in the first half. It was 7-7 at halftime. Rowe, a 3-yard pass from Pate, made it 14-7 Antioch, and then Clayton tied it. O'Rourke, a 1-yard run. There's a pattern to this, Steve. For almost every Antioch pass for a touchdown, there was a run for a touchdown from Clayton Valley. And then McGee, a 33-yard pass, made it 21-14 Antioch. Tarrant, a 1-yard run, made it 21-21. Then Rowe, a 19-yard pass, made it 28-21 Antioch. And then O'Rourke, who had over 250 yards rushing tonight, a 27-yard pass, tied it at 28. And then Antioch got the ball back after the fumble, and Joey Pate, the biggest kick of his life and one of the craziest games we've ever seen on this field, a 42-yard field goal, wins it 31-28 as we take a look at the final stats out here tonight, Steve. And I don't know if these are going to match up with the ones that we have in the truck, but we're going to try anyway. They're pretty dang close. 366 total yards of offense, 320 rushing, 46 passing, 196 passing, 103 running, 299 for Antioch. First downs 14-12. They were very even. O'Rourke ran for 225 yards tonight, turned for 81. Maris completed 3 passes for 46 yards. McGee had 112 yards rushing. That means he had 110 in the second half. Pate was 11-17 for 196 and 4 touchdowns. Rowe made 5 catches for 44 yards and 2 touchdowns, and Hilton 4 for 95 and 1 touchdown. Player of the game for Clayton Valley, definitely O'Rourke, and Jesse Williams we're going to give it to along with Joey Pate for Antioch. We got to get out of here, Steve, because the tape's running. We're going to say hello to our great crew tonight. Tonight's game was directed by Ron Carter. As you take a look at us once again. And hear Van Halen in the background. We know we're going home. We hear that.
We're
Matt
going
Bolander
home.
did a great job tonight on replay and audio. Graphics from Scott Birmingham. Scott Valeur was one of the cameramen tonight. I know we had a bunch of them out here. Fletcher Tyler did a great job up here on main camera. Jonathan Martin on camera. And Carlin Larson always on camera. And I think the 2 crazy kids are here too. Dave Jackson, our statistician and guru in the booth, and Robert DeCambra. I know you're happy the Raiders won again last week. Brent Elridge on data, as always. We have a great staff here doing stats and data. Mike and Travis Larson, our production assistants, as always. And, of course, one of them is the guy with the pink hair, Steve. And another production assistant, that's Torrance Brown, not a PA announcer, as I messed up last week, Steve. Special thanks to Ferris Anthony of the Panthers. and Herc Pardee of the Ugly Eagles. And I want to say something about, and also to Antioch High School and Jeff Rich, Clayton Valley played a very good football game tonight. They have nothing to be ashamed of as we take a look at some legends from Antioch.
There's Liz Martin, and there's Vern Martin, and there's Al Anthony,
and there's Brandon
Anthony. And Liz and Vern has really been through a lot this week.
Steve, we got to get to the great friends of AT&T Broadband, because I know you got a great friend to send us out. As you saw, our name's Rocco's Ristorante and Pizzeria in Walnut Creek. Great pizza in Walnut Creek. Brendan Theaters, 14 screens of movie magic. Contra Costa Clean Water Program and Mr. Funnelhead. Remember, it's fun and easy to recycle used oil and filters, and Paramount Technology of Concord for all your technology needs. Rock Bottom Records, New Mecca Cafe, Images of 3 Hair Salon, S&S Import Service, Golf and Games, Concord Beverage, Pantel's Music Box, A&B Creative Trophies, Mercados, Hairstylists for Men, Action Video, and Antioch Competitions are great friends. And Steve, who's the last great friend before we go? Prime Equipment of Martinez, great help. Who's a great friend, Steve?
Dan, this guy lived in the jungle just like you did. He lived in the jungle. He had 2 great friends. And I'm going to let you pick one of his most important friends. Who was the man and who was his most important friend?
Tarzan and his monkey.
No! Jane, you idiot!
Next week, Miramani and Los Lomas, Antioch and Pittsburgh. This has been a high school sports production by AT&T Broadband. The craziest game in history. Steve Sanchez, send us out of here.
Good night, everybody, and go America!